Hey y'all, welcome back to episode 5 of Get Out Yourself podcast with Shay. Y'all, oh my gosh, first I want to say thank you so much for listening to my podcast. Like, my first episode, I really only expected, like, my goal was 10 views. Like, 10 listens. I was like, okay, if I get 10 listens, then this is so exciting. And my first episode, I think I'm up to 36 listens. I am so excited. Like, I am so appreciative of y'all. Like, y'all really on here listening to me. Let me see. My total listens, does it tell me? I have 93 total listens through all 4 of my episodes. And I am truly so thankful that you guys are taking time out of your busy lives to listen to me and my thoughts. This week, sometimes I feel like I'm overthinking and I don't know, like, I don't know. I feel like I have to like be teaching or whatever, which I think is appreciated, but sometimes I just have random thoughts and banter. So I don't know. I feel like my episodes are usually a bit more organized. We're gonna see how this works out today with just my random thoughts. But again, thank you so much for listening to my podcast. I really appreciate you. Yeah, and I'm hoping that you continue to listen. I swear, I'm always like trying to plan my episodes, and I look up and the time just be flying. Like, I'm so exhausted. I am ready, so ready for a break. Like, I'm so excited to have Monday off. It is much needed. I don't know where the time goes or what happens, but I blink and it's Wednesday every single time. Past weekend, I was able to go to the farmers market and I love the farmers market so much. And I don't know if I've said this, but I live in San Diego. So I feel like we have really great farmers markets here. And I don't know, it was so nice to kind of get back into going to the farmers market because I haven't been. I don't know, did I go while I was pregnant? I don't think so. So it's nice to kind of get back into that routine or that experience. Now it just takes like a little bit more planning. If y'all don't know, I have a 6-month old. And so now it's like, okay, I want to get to the farmers market right when they open. So I can get what I need and get out of there before it gets too crowded and I can stroll and have a good time. I just want to vibe and have fun, okay? That's exactly what I want. Something lately that I have noticed that I miss is um, writing and reading. Now that, in this stage of life, rather, I feel like I don't read as much. I do try to listen to podcasts when I can, or listen to audiobooks, which I love. But sometimes I just want to sit there and read a book. Go by the pool, go to the beach, and just read a book. Lay in bed and read a good book. And I feel like, at this stage of my life, I am not able to do that as much, which I try not to be hard on myself about because I'm like, girl, it's not always gonna be like this. And an audiobook is okay. But I feel like resting in this day and age is like frowned upon or something. Like, we all need rest. I am okay, so during COVID, I just really the views of life for me just changed. Like, I feel like we live in such a society, which I feel like is changing now a little bit, of just hustle culture. Just work, 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 work yourself to the bone, never take a break, never take a day off. And like, no, I am someone who truly values rest and I believe in having time to yourself to recharge. I am one of those people that can get exhausted by people's energy. Now, my friends and people that I'm close to, those are people who charge my battery. But I mean, most of my friends live in LA, so I don't get to see them as much as I would like to see them, and I miss them so much. My family's in LA, so I don't really get to see everybody as much as I want. So I feel like some of the people that you know, you interact with on a daily, um, will like working and all that. That is like exhausting to me, but it's good when you have good work friends, of course. And I have been lucky at every single job. I find great people that I keep with me throughout my life. But yeah, making friends in San Diego is like a whole new world to me. And it kind of scares me because although I've made some amazing friends, I have had the weirdest interactions with people. For some reason, I have this personality, which I kind of think is a talent, right? Like, I feel like for some reason, people naturally instantly feel comfortable with me and they want to tell me their deepest, darkest secrets, which I appreciate because I'm like, why me? Because I've been told that I don't really look approachable. So it's funny that it actually happens to me. But then I have had the craziest encounters where people feel like possessive over me in a sense. And to know me is to know that I really just be chilling. Like, I don't play about my friends, but like, I'm also someone that's like, either we friends or we not. Like, I don't know. So that was just like a random thought that I had. But yeah, I love and value rest even more now being a mom. And I feel like there is something to laying in the bed and rotting. Okay. It's okay to lay in the bed, put on a little Netflix series, and rot for the whole day and do nothing. The art of rotting has been lost because everybody wants to get up at the ass crack and start their morning routine, which I think there are a lot of benefits in having a routine. But I also feel like there is even more benefits to balance. Like every now and then, every week, you need a day to just rot and relax. And I feel like that is what I need. This weekend kind of was more of that for me. So my baby, 6 months now, so I had to go through her clothes and I got rid of the things that she couldn't fit to prepare them to donate. And then I have to wash all the clothes because I kind of washed her clothes by age. So it's like now I need to wash all the like 6 to 9 month clothes. So I feel like I washed more clothes this weekend than I ever have in my entire life. It was just constant washing and folding, which I guess when you have another tiny human's clothes to wash, so you just have even more clothes to wash. So kind of that's what I did this weekend. But we didn't have anything planned. We just went to the farmer's market. I've been cooking. I'm someone who really likes to meal prep. And for some reason this week, the meals that I planned, I didn't really prep them. So I've been cooking every single day, which I feel like takes so much of my time. My plan is to have everything like prepared and you just like cook it. But that is not what I did for some reason this week. So I also feel slightly productive. Like, look at her. She's cooking every day. Look at her go. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's so busy. And then I blink and the day is over. And after work, I value my time even more to spend time with my baby and my husband and I just feel like it's been taking up so much time this week. But somehow, the more time it takes up, the more time I have found to be able to do what I need to do, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. I was having a conversation with someone and we were talking about like having a baby. And I was like, yeah, my day begins at 3 a.m. and it ends at 11 p.m. So I'm like, the days are so long. And a lot of days, it's fine that it's so long. But some days, like to last night, she didn't sleep well. And she, is just growing and going through that phase, where she didn't sleep well. So I don't sleep well. And I also don't sleep well because I always feel like I have one eye open. And that's because, let me give you a little backstory. So when my baby was in the hospital, she was like, was it maybe 1 day old? They came in and they gave her like a bath, and they gave her like her vaccines, and they gave her like a bath, and she was crying, and I had her do a C-section. So she never really had that good cry to clear her lungs, which these are what the nurses told me. So from her being traumatized from a bath, as I know baby would be, she was just crying so hard that she ended up choking. And the nurse was like, does she always do that? And I was like, yeah, she kind of like sucks her tongue a little bit. And the nurse got quiet and she like flipped her over and like pressed this button. And then five nurses came flying in. And I'm just looking like, what the hell? Because as y'all know, like I've had a miscarriage. So I'm like, listen, mentally, I don't know, y'all better fix it. So, by the grace of God, she was fine. They said that, oh, it usually happens because they have a lot of fluid in their lungs, and via C section, it's usually not, it doesn't, they're not able to clear it in the same way. So, I have a phobia of choking. And so this week, my mom had her, and there was an incident where she was like, where she started to choke, and my mom called 911, but she was able to unchoke her before 911 came. So I feel like I sleep with one eye open, but two eyes have been open this week because I have even more anxiety. Every time I see my mom's number on my phone, my anxiety shoots through the roof. So sleeping has been minimal, even though her sleep this week overall has not been bad. But I just feel like it's just so much going on. It's so much going on as a parent. My cousin told me, girl, you have to find peace. I said, girl, when you're a parent, it ain't no peace. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, but I'm saying it's like you're always going to have that like worry or wonder about your child. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I could see how it can become unhealthy, but I think that it is a completely normal thing that just happens, that you have anxiety before you're pregnant, then you get pregnant, you have specific anxieties, and then you have the baby, you have more anxieties. So I think it's just something normal that happens. And I just believe, that she'll be safe and protected. But that, oh my God, has what been what my week is like. And I was like, dang, I was supposed to record during the weekend, but tomorrow, you push things off till tomorrow, and here we are. But I did not want to go another week without an episode. And I don't know, I'm someone that goes by when things feel right. Like even when I do a post, it's like, does this feel right to me? And if it doesn't feel right, I won't post it. And I don't know if that's me overthinking, or sometimes I feel like I have a vision or a thought and I'm not capturing it in the way that I want to. So then I hold off until I'm able to capture it in the way that I want? So that is that. Maybe it is overthinking, child. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm proud of myself for recording right now because I kept to my word and I did what I said I was going to do. I started the podcast that I had been saying for years that I wanted to start, and I'm sitting here recording like I said I need to be recording because there is no perfect time. So I want y'all to reflect this week and think about, what is something that you did this week that you kept the promise to yourself. And I want you to celebrate that win, because I think that we often overlook things that we consider small wins. And doing what you said you were going to do is a bigger win than you think. So shout out to you. You're doing great. I've been having like thoughts about certain things, and something that's been on my mind is, why is it that when people are confident, people tell them they shouldn't be. Like, where is the line between being confident and being full of yourself? Is being full of yourself wrong? And here's how I feel about it. I truly feel that you should be full of yourself and you should be confident and you should think like that you're the best, because if you don't think that, who will? I see these videos on TikTok and it'll be somebody who like they'll ask, oh, to rate someone's outfit or to rate someone's looks or whatever, which I don't love that idea, but um the person will then be asked to rate themselves, and it's never a 10. And I feel like you should always rate yourself a 10. You should always think that you are the best. What is wrong with thinking that? Why should you have to dim your light to make other people feel comfortable? I think that the the expectation that you should think lower of yourself stems from someone else's insecurity. They want you to think that, oh, you think you're a 7 because maybe they don't think so highly of themselves, so it makes them feel better. And I think there's a lot of, beauty in sharing your experience, because I think it provides like a human aspect and also a community aspect to life, to being like, oh, look, I have the same feelings too. But if someone thinks like, no, I'm the most beautiful, I'm the most talented, I'm the smartest, they're always looked at as being like unlikable or like insufferable. But why aren't the people who are telling you to dim your light seen as the insufferable ones? Because in my eyes, they should be. And the way that you think of yourself doesn't have anything to do with anybody else, because other people can be amazing and beautiful too. And I see this a lot in like different videos, and it'll be like, oh, it's my birthday and this person wore this or this person did that. I believe we could come in the same outfit and it's still not going to be giving what I'm giving, because I don't feel like I'm giving my best. I'm giving all I got, is giving what needs to be gave. You know what I mean? But why? Like, I believe that we can all be the Beyonce in the group. Like, you don't necessarily, we can all be the star. We could all be the lead singer. There doesn't necessarily need to be hierarchy in the friend group. Like, just because I think I'm amazing and we're friends doesn't mean that you should think that you're less amazing because, oh, well, she already thinks higher of herself. So maybe I shouldn't think of myself in that way, or I don't have what they have. So I should downplay my own accomplishments. I feel like we didn't start doing that until social media. Like, when I was growing up, like I remember there being certain people being like, "Oh, this person's conceited, that person is conceited." But I think overall, we didn't feel the need to dim our light to fit into whatever space and expectation other people created for us. We were just like, here I am, this is what it's giving, and it is what it is, and we accepted it and we moved on. But for some reason now, I feel like that is the expectation of everyone, that social media was created, or it, I don't know that it was created because I felt like it was fun this way, but it has become a place of comparison for a lot of people. And if you haven't listened to my episode on social media and how to create a safe space, go back to that episode and listen to it. But I feel like social media has created the expectation that you shouldn't think too highly of yourself. But I feel like some people thrive off of you thinking low of yourself because it makes them feel better about themselves. It's like, oh, well, I feel like I'm better than this person because of this. And that, I don't really understand that. If you're someone who has to feel like you are you want people to feel less of themselves because it makes you feel better about yourself, that is a you problem. And I don't think being confident means that like you can't accept constructive criticism, because in this day and age, on platforms where people can give their opinion, everybody thinks that they are entitled to write a think piece and be critical. But a lot of times, the criticism isn't constructive. It's just like you putting people down. And that only has to be to boost themselves up, because what I see is people getting dragged. It's like one person leaves a negative think piece and people don't think for themselves, so they hop on that bandwagon, whether it's for clout or whatever. And I'm like, now you're basically curb stomping this person with negative information. So then in their head, they can start thinking negatively about themselves and be like, well, maybe I'm not shit, which really shouldn't be the case. It's like if you're going to provide criticism, let it be constructive. Provide a benefit, because if not, a lot of the criticism is just plain mean. And I feel like that gets overwhelming and it really penetrates people's thoughts about themselves when they're constantly being criticized by everybody. Then it takes away, now you're second guessing. So you're like, oh, I want to do this, but I don't know if it's going to make everyone else feel comfortable. And then you become a people pleaser. And people pleasing is one of the worst spaces you can be in, because you will never please the people like you think you're going to. Somebody's always is going to be disappointed. Somebody's always is going to be mad. And that's why I don't believe in that. I think that you have to really do things for you. And one day I just had this epiphany, because I was saying yes to things that I didn't want to do. And it wasn't because, oh, I don't want to do hard things. I don't want to do this kind of things. It was just like, I don't want to do this and I'm doing this for other people. And when I realized that, I started saying no. Like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't feel comfortable doing that. That doesn't make me happy. I'm not doing that. But it doesn't mean that obviously you don't do things that are, oh my God, I wonder, can y'all hear that? That was crazy. My computer just made a noise. But that doesn't mean that you don't do things that are challenging or hard. But you just don't do the things that are not serving you. And I feel like that's also something that's super popular to say. Get rid of the things that are no longer serving you. But what does that look like? If you are on a health journey and everybody's going out to eat and you still want to go out to eat, you can go out, but if you choose not to eat the food, then it's like, I'm not explaining this right. What the heck? So if you're on a health journey and everyone's like, oh, go out, just skip your diet for the day or whatever, and you don't want to, you don't have to. You can still go and hang out and still have fun without breaking the promise that you made to yourself, because then you would just be doing it to make everyone else happy, or because it's easier to do and you don't want confrontation. Because, being confrontational isn't always necessarily a bad thing. And I say that because there are times in your life where you have to stand up for yourself because nobody else will. And then people will take advantage of knowing that you won't stand up for yourself. Speaking of the health journeys, random side note, this episode is so chaotic to me. But I went to the doctor last week, and I have been going to the doctor a lot because ever since I feel like all of my PCOS symptoms were great when I was pregnant, but now that I'm no longer pregnant, I feel like everything is like going haywire. So I'm just really working to get all of that back on track. Yeah, so one of the things that I am experiencing is swollen feet and ankles. I have cankles right now, and it was concerning to me because it's not related to my blood pressure, but it's not something that I experienced directly after birth. I didn't kind of experience it until I went back to work, which I was like, okay, well, I'm on my feet a lot more than I have been the last 6 months. Maybe that's what it is. But I'm someone that, girl, you pay for that health care, you're going to pull up and use it every single time. I don't care if I have one question or two questions. I'm pulling up and use that health care I pay for. I don't got time But the doctor, I guess, was concerned that it could be my liver, my kidneys, or my heart. So I did like a chest x ray and a whole bunch of blood work to really get down to the bottom of what's going on with my cankles. So I will report back. To know me is to know that I do a whole bunch of research myself and diagnose myself. So we'll see what the doctor says. I mean, I don't think anything looks too extreme that I guess should be taken to concern. And usually they'll call you if it's something that's like super crazy. But so we'll see. We're gonna have a phone appointment to address whatever's going on there. And the doctor spoke to me about taking metformin. Metformin is a diabetes drug that is often used for people, women who have PCOS, insulin resistant PCOS to be exact. So we talked about that, and I'm like, "Ugh, I don't know about that." But my whole thing is like, can I take it and then make the lifestyle changes along with the medication to later get off of it? Because that's kind of something that I don't have a problem doing, but what I have been doing is not working. And sometimes you have to be real with yourself and be like, okay, this ain't working, so you need to try something new. And she said that I won't have to be on it forever, but that it can benefit me in jump starting my weight loss to get everything else in order. So I'm considering it, even though I don't like the idea of it, and I've heard a lot of crazy things about it. Mostly the GI upset is what I'm concerned about. But child, I don't know. We'll see if she thinks that we should just revisit in 60 days or whatever it is. But that's the funny thing is because nothing will change unless you change. So, yes, I can take the medication that will put a band-aid on it, but along with the lifestyle changes, that's really where you're going to see the change, but that's going to take time. So, I believe in what's called functional medicine, which is like holistic, but also medical intervention. So, there's that. I think that that is the way that a lot of things should be treated now. But, child, I guess technically I ain't no doctor. So, I ain't no doctor, so I can't say. But it seems like, there are things that can be changed that can benefit me in the future. And one of those things, which I'm sad to say, is I have been vegetarian for a very long time, but a vegan and vegetarian diet is really not optimal for PCOS. So I've been trying to incorporate more meat into my diet. And to know me is to know that most meats I don't like. The ones that I like are the worst meats for you. So I've been trying to incorporate more chicken and ground turkey into my daily meals, and the chicken for me is like hard sometimes. It like grosses me out. So it's like I was never vegetarian because health benefits. It's like yes, there are benefits to it or there could be, but mostly it was like I just didn't really enjoy meat. So once I found out that I didn't have to eat it, I was like, well, I'm not going to eat it, you know? But for PCOS is not, or my type of PCOS is not really ideal. And I see that because it really hasn't been beneficial for me. So we will see. I will update y'all on my health journey to see what the doctor says about my cankles and my health moving forward. It really is a lot in my ego. It's like, oh, I don't want to do this because it feels like I failed. But in reality, I'm like, honey, you have to do something at this point, at least to get jump started, and then you can get off of it. The plan is never to be on it forever if I don't have to. And that's that. I don't even know if I'm going to take it, but I guess we'll see what she says, and I will update y'all about that. That was my random tangent. But back to what I was saying before, there's really so much power in you being you. There is so much power in you just being you. I don't want y'all to miss that. I realize there's so much copy and paste now When I was younger, and it's crazy because I sound so old when I say that, like back in the day, I can't even believe that I'm like one of those people because I used to hate hearing that. But I feel like when I was younger, there was so much individuality. Now I feel like there's just so much like copy and paste because everybody wants to be like, I seen these group of teenagers. I was driving by on the street and there were a group of teenagers. I'm like, damn, they all look identical. It was like a group of like six of them. I'm like, maybe they're all siblings. I doubt it, but just the style, the hair, every single thing was like copy and paste identical. I feel like they don't have individualism anymore, which I mean, of course, it's from social media. People share what they buy and what they get. So people are like, oh, I want that. And I think that that's kind of normal. I think it's cool to have the exposure to some things, but dang, I didn't realize that it was, I guess, on the level that it is. And when I was talking about rest, I forgot to mention that I seen a post on Instagram where a man I think worked at Burger King for 27 years and he didn't miss a day and all he got was like a goodie bag of candy. This is why I tell people take that day off for your mental health. Take that day off if something is going on in your life. Work never comes first in my eyes. I think that there's a time for work. You go to work at the time you're supposed to go, give it all you got, and when you're done, you're done. And from every second that you are not at work, you pour into your personal life, your hobbies, your relationships, not just romantic, platonic relationships, and things that you enjoy. Because really, that is what matters the most. And I feel like COVID opened my eyes to that. I was someone who really put a lot of focus and passion into my work. And it's funny because I'd never judged people the same way that I judge myself, which I guess we always judge ourselves more harshly. But I always be like putting my self worth or my value into my career. And something in COVID really just opened my eyes. I think it was just maybe the extreme like loss of lives that was happening that I was like, damn, this is not what matters. What matters is your family, your friends, the people that you love, the things you enjoy doing. While we do spend so much time of our week at work, that's what it is. It's work. And I hope that you do find some enjoyment in your job to make it less painful. But at the end of the day gonna end. And when the day ends, you want to be somebody who goes home and has a place of peace. And it's something that I truly value. Uh-oh, child, is my computer about to die? It's something that I truly value so much, even more now that I'm a mom, that I realize that there are people who work is all they have. That's it. That is their bread and butter. They don't have relationships or experiences or hobbies outside of work. That work is their bread and butter. And a lot of those people are miserable and they project that misery onto you. My mom always used to say, misery loves company. Misery. I used to be like, girl, what the hell? Until I seen the misery that loved the company. It's, they're so miserable in their lives that they want you to feel that same misery. They want you to think less of yourself. They want you to come to work and hate life or and there's just so much power in not doing that. Like we don't have to be miserable. And I think that you find that enjoyment when you are pouring into yourself outside of work, and that is the balance that I am currently fighting to create right now just because every single day of my life is different. I don't like taking time away from my child after work because I feel like the time is so sacred because, I only get a certain amount of hours before she has to go to sleep. And so I really take pride in the take pride in the time that I have with her when I get off of work and the time with my husband, to catch up from our day and to really just give her time with both of us and take her on a walk with the dog and all of that. I don't even know if this episode made sense or if anything I said made sense or if it resonated with you, but these were really just some of the random thoughts and banter that I had and that I just wanted to share with y'all because I didn't want to leave y'all without an episode and I didn't want to overthink an episode and have like an outline of like topics I wanted to talk about. I was like, I'm just going to go on here and really check in with y'all and let y'all know what's going on in my life. And that will be that. Just remember to be yourself, to do things that make you happy, even if it's like something small every single day. You make a coffee, or you made your lunch, or you went on a walk outside. Those little things, those daily deposits add up. And those are going to be the things that really fulfill you every single day and give you the drive to keep going. Don't dim your light for anybody. You should think you're the smartest, the most confident, the best dressing, most intelligent person. And you can do all those things and be all those things while not putting others down. You can be you and not drag people down. Everybody could be the Beyonce. Okay, don't forget that. Rest, have a day of bed rotting to really fill up your cup, or fill up your cup how you see fit, because everybody probably doesn't feel like they need to rot in the bed to fulfill themselves, but I need a day of rotting. Some people feel like they need to go out and interact with people, and I love that for y'all. Do that. But most of all, I want you to really remind yourself of the power that you have within yourself and the strength that you have and the fact that you've been keeping promises to yourself and you've been working so hard. And that working hard does not mean not taking a break. What does that poem say? You can rest, but don't you quit. It is okay to rest. Take time for your body and your mind to recover so you can be at whatever it is you need to be. Remind yourself that you are the one and not the two every single day. And really do that. Do all of the things. I want y'all to DM me topics that you want me to cover. If you have like scenarios that you want me to respond to, that would be fun for me to do. I appreciate all the comments and all the love that I've been getting. I'm just overwhelmed and so full of love. I appreciate it. My mom's like promoting my podcast at work. I think it's so funny. She's like, yeah, I told some people. I hope it's okay. And I'm like laughing and I'm like, yeah, I do want people to listen. Um, but I think it's so funny. I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. I love you so much. And next week, we're going to get back into it. Make sure you're following me, liking, subscribing. Oh, I'm also on YouTube now, too, doing all the things. And if you know me personally or you don't know me, you can comment, message. I try my best to respond to all the things. And yeah, hopefully this episode wasn't too crazy and you took something from it and you're here listening to me at the end. But I love you. Love yourself. Can't wait to chat with you next week.